Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your commentator tonight is Harlequin. These beautiful waterfalls are courtesy of the map Greentooth Gorge. The lovely lady sitting behind me is my ever-patient girlfriend, who has to deal with me screaming at the top of my voice at all hours of the night as I comment these games, and my generally goofy demeanor is perhaps a byproduct of prolonged exposure to general chat prior to casting a game. Lots of entertaining individuals out there. Anyhow, today's game is a wonderful 1 versus 1. And by the way, coming up tomorrow, Friday, April 29th, I am giving away Dark Angel DLC codes to 3 random Twitter followers. If you are interested, follow HarlequinCasts at twitter.com. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at this game. In the northern position, controlling the red pieces, playing as the commando knob, we have Mr. Texaneous. Texaneous was on a bit of a break lately, doing a lot of work, actually like working in real life. But his opponent today is going to be the one, the only Mr. Choko in beautiful looking skin-tight pink armor. You can see today, of course, he is playing as the Warp Spider Exarch. And if you missed it, Choko was featured in the first Meet the Players series that was out there. So let's go ahead and get this game started and see what's going on here. So Warp Spider Exarch versus Commando Knob should be a pretty good game on a pretty good map. As I said, Texaneous took a bit of a break for a while, made a bunch of money. Now he's back, hanging out, climbing the ladder again. Eager to see his style of play go up against Choko's once again. I've definitely seen these guys play a bunch of times. They actually practice together a lot. They're friends. We're all friends. We all know each other. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen here. Choko, as you know, has a very map control-oriented style of play. He often avoids conflict and is sneaky and stuff like that, whereas Texaneous has a very straightforward style of play, sticking to very traditional build orders usually. Although the Commando Knob is a bit of a change, I've often seen him play as the War Boss instead. So anyhow, I'm curious to see that. I've seen him play as a bunch of heroes, actually. Mech, War Boss, Commando, all that sort of thing. So, looking around here today, we'll see that the Warp Spider Exarch is all off by himself on the one-hand side. That's a great use of the Warp Spider. He's very harassing, and, you know, he can just stand on his own very well. Meanwhile, the rest of the Guardians are just kind of moving out, capturing various victory points out there and whatnot. And now we can see a little bit of an early attack coming right now from Texaneous. He's going to go ahead and put some pressure on this power node. You'll note that Choko went ahead and upgraded both of his power nodes, although he's only building generators on the left-hand side. That definitely prevents immediate recapture like we're seeing here. A little bit of supporting fire from the Commando Knob, and you can see he even got a single casualty right there. And right now, it's just going to be the Slugger Boys ripping away at this power node, which is already set up. You can see that the Warp Spider Exarch is shredding away at them. Doing some pretty decent damage here, but the Commando Knob's going to run in there, and I'm guessing we're just going to see that Warp Spider Exarch blink somewhere around here. Yep, there he goes, blinking right behind some nice yellow cover, and just going to basically just put some damage on these guys as they're retreating back home. Choko, unfortunately, has to repurchase that right away, so that's going to cost him a little bit. And meanwhile, Texaneous is just kind of moving right along with his build order here. Already we can see that it looks like Choko went ahead and upgraded his first Guardian squad with some battle equipment as well. A little bit of light skirmishing going on here, only one model firing, but he does have the protection of this energy shield. And we can see that the Warp Spider is just kind of hanging out in the middle, capping some points here. So taking a look around here, see if that's going to go anywhere. These guys do have a Shooter Boy squad. And by the way, we see a third Shooter Boy squad coming out right now for Texaneous. So Texaneous is going for some heavy Tier 1 stuff. That's kind of interesting, actually, just because of the fact that Choko only has 2 Guardians out right now. Obviously, they are a little bit upgraded. But we'll have to see how that's going to happen, because that'll definitely put Texaneous ahead in terms of actual, orc body count on the field and whatnot. Also worth noting is that the Warp Spider Exarch recently was nerfed. He does a little bit less range damage, and his advanced targeters that increase his range damage were also made more expensive. So oftentimes I see players using him a bit differently nowadays, opting instead just to use him as just kind of a general capping, harassing unit, not so much as like the damage-dealing behemoth that he used to be. Taking a look around, we can see that a little bit of a skirmish clan here. We've got double Shooter Boys upgraded right now with their big shooters coming in, really taking a lot of damage right now from the Guardians, who are just kind of standing their ground. Really, this whole squad is actually looking quite beat up. We can see those 2 gentlemen retreating, and we have a beautiful looking nade spike by Choko right there, picking off one more unit. The rest of his troops continuing to stand their ground, benefiting greatly from having that energy shield up during the beginning of the conflict there. And now we can see that Texaneous is going to be forced to retreat, so beautiful use of that battle gear, that battle equipment there from the Guardians, and now they're going to flee to foot and retreat all the way home. And it looks like, by the way, that one man who retreated all the way back was picked off by the Warp Spider Exarch sitting out here, so just kind of chasing them back into the web of the Warp Spider there. That was the first squad loss right there by Texaneous. So Interesting to note. But by the way, on the right-hand side, Texaneous continuing to cap other things throughout the battlefield. Now we see the third squad out on the field right now for Choko. He has got his Rangers out there already upgraded with pathfinding gear. That's going to make them kind of tricky to deal with. It's going to force the Orc to get some knobs and that sort of thing. But you can see, once again, the Sluggo Boys being used to put some pressure on this power node. And everybody else just kind of running around decapping some stuff. So in terms of map control, it's kind of all over the place right now. It was unfortunate, though, that Choko had that little trap and was able to take care of one of Texaneous' shooter boys on the retreat there. We can see that this commando knob is being pursued by a bunch of angry Eldar here. Looks like he infiltrated and was trying to decap, but I think he's just going to take too much damage. Yeah, he's just going to have to go ahead and retreat out of here anyways. So this is all going to work out pretty nicely for Choko. More on the right-hand side, we have, it looks like Hide the Boys is being used on these Sluggo Boys here. That is, of course, the Commando Knob ability. He didn't quite detect them. Oh, I guess it just wore off right then. Now we do have the Rangers setting up to try and do some sniping, but unfortunately, they are under focus fire right now and just going to have to straight up retreat. Meanwhile, we do have, looks like they're just going to go ahead and charge in there, and not retreating, but instead using fleet of foot. The Guardians are just running away. That's kind of interesting because they would normally take more damage from melee if they retreated. So instead, he just opted to manually run away. And unfortunately, Texaneous taking an extra casualty there at the end just from this shuriken cannon in front of Choko Bambus' base. So that's pretty interesting. Again, Warp Spider up here on the far right-hand side being used, just kind of dancing around, capturing stuff. However, we do have the Shooter Boy squad now upgraded with a knob, by the way, a knob and a big shooter, hanging out in the middle, decapping this point. And starting to get sniped a little bit here. As you can see, the Rangers are moving back out. On the left-hand side, the Shooter Boys have returned from whence they were last routed. This time, though, it looks like there is nobody here to defend, and they may just get a free capture on this victory point. We'll have to see. But for the time being, by the way, note all of this energy, this force field usage going on here. Energy shield, force field. God damn it, there's so many different names for all of these things. StarCraft 2 and in Dawn of War 2. It's basically the similar idea. Anyhow. Energy shield is going up right now, and we can see right now that the double Shooter Boy squads are down here, perhaps getting ready for an attack or something, but honestly, he really should be capping this point. You can see the Rangers taking some cover in the guard tower, not a bad idea at all. That'll help them out with taking a little bit less range damage there. Let's see if they're in range, though. Yeah, they are. They're kind of sniping away at this squad, although the squad is standing behind that for a little bit there. Here's that fleet of foot once again. Guardians now charging in, getting around the other side of that cover, and just kind of doing some random damage here. Just kind of slugging away, actually, keeping these guys in melee right now. Buying some time for the Rangers to do some extra damage. And I think Texaneous, again, is just going to have to retreat away. Yep, that's what it looks like here. Looking more towards the middle, there was a bit of a skirmish going on here between the Guardians and the Sluggo Boys. However, that didn't work out. And we can see the Warp Spider Exarch just hanging out in his guard tower right now, shredding away at the Commando Knob. The Commando Knob, by the way, has been upgraded to have extra equipment, giving him more energy and health. That's pretty cool. And Tier 2 has already been researched for Choko Bambus. So while I was jibber-jabbering about all that stuff, he used his power and just went straight up to Tier 2. You can see he's got a ton of money saved up as well, so we'll have to see what he's going to spend it on. Tier 2 being researched right now, though, by Texaneous. Texaneous has got 2 generators on the left, 3 on the right, whereas we just have 3 generators on the left for Choko. Let's see exactly what's happening here. So dancing back towards the middle, we can see that once again the Guardians capping that central squad. Oh, and we have Choko. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and buy some Warp Spiders out there. Definitely cool. Very maneuverable units. Score right now, 469 to Choko playing as blue and 382 for Texaneous playing as red. Warp Spider is just about out on the field right now. And just kind of defending, actually. It looks like he's pretty much just setting up a big old defense here on the left-hand side, giving himself multiple pieces of cover to retreat to. That's pretty nice. And he's just going to stand on his own. So now we can see that the Sluggo Boys, upgraded with the burners, are going to be moving in right now. We can see the green cover here not working out too much for these guys. They're going to have to fleet of foot and sprint back, perhaps taking cover behind a next energy shield. Yep, again, he's got layers of defenses there. That's not too bad. You can see that the Sluggo Boys are charging in. They are being upgraded with a knob, but they have taken quite a bit of damage on the charge in there. And now, of course, they are being forced to retreat. Looks like this Guardian squad, both Guardian squads have been upgraded to have a Warlock as well. So that'll help out with the DPS a little bit there. Warp Spider Exarch and Warp Spiders both combining their attacks, blinking in, and getting a nice little focus fire kill on the Commando Knob there. So that's very unfortunate. And the Warp Spider right now is just cutting and stabbing away at everybody. And check out these upgrades. Choko Bamba's going for the Power Blade upgrade first. Basically increases his melee damage versus infantry and vehicles right there. So pretty effective indeed. Oh, a nice little blink there, getting out of suppression right away. We do see a war truck on the field right now for Texaneous. So that's pretty good for Choko. It looks like he's very ready for that. This is very standard play from Texaneous. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes war truck straight into a weird boy. Unfortunately, he lost one of the Shooter Boy squads, but otherwise this looks like a fairly normal build order. You know. We can see the Warp Spiders down here firing away, and once again, using the blink ability from the Warp Spider. Oh, getting a nice little sync kill. Oh, look at that sync kill. Blinking around inside the sync kill animation. That was kind of cool. So yeah, you can see the Choko Bambus is using the teleport right there just to get around. Now, here we have on the left-hand side, we've got a nice little attack coming right now. You can see the war truck just driving through, just like, oh yeah, you're going to take cover behind all these shields? Fine. Shows up a third time finally here, drives through, crashes down all of those energy shields, and now dropping his upgraded Slugger Boys on top of this gen farm. So doing a little bit of gen bashing here. Not too bad. You can see the Warp Spiders are coming in right now. They have been upgraded to have aspect of the Warp Spiders, so they do have access to Haywire Grenades, as you can see by their... where did they just go? Oh, man, it's so hard to keep track of. As you can see, they blinked all the way back, I believe. As you can see by the fact that they do have that X-Arc there as well. So hopefully these Slugger Boys will be capping this victory point at some point. Nope, they're just going to go ahead and get right back into that war truck right there. I do love Orc technology. It does look pretty good, and you can see just using those guns. Trying to put some damage on that, but now we have the Haywire Grenade going off. And bam, there goes the vehicle. And the vehicle's at such low hit points. And using those power claws, the Warp Spider X-Arc just pops that thing like crazy. And even gets a special attack off as soon as all the Slugger Boys get out of there. So he is just being a pimp today with those power claws. Look at that. Using the blink to get back into the retreat path. And just staying in front of them. Oh, there's that sync kill again. The sync kill that includes him teleporting and like stabbing in various teleportation positions. Meanwhile, towards the middle, these Rangers actually got mobbed here. We do have the Shooter Boys, and there is that weird boy I was hoping to see out there. He does have the big up brains, so he's got more health than the Over Dare ability. And Choko Bambus, however, is just well on his way to tier 3 right now. He's going to be fine staying out here with the 3 abilities right now. With the 4 units out there. Boom! What a nice little long bomb shot coming out of the Weird Boy right now. That's looking quite good. Oh no, and a second one. Choko unfortunately has 2 very grouped up Guardian squads here that are right within the range of that Weird Boy. The Weird Boy is taking cover in all of this nice terrain here and stuff. Over on the left-hand side, we can see that it looks like, oh no, the Warp Spider X-Arc once again, backed up by a bunch of Warp Spiders, was able to get a nice little attack, a nice little ambush here in this Commando Knob. So the Commando Knob goes down once again. Beautiful looking Warp Vomit happening on all of these gentlemen. Oh, once again taking lots of damage, and a Zap on top of that entire pile of gentlemen right there. Zap, of course, does kind of damage over time and jumps between nearby units and stuff. So I do believe that Weird Boy just single-handedly dealt with 2 Guardian squads, no problem, just kind of taking cover. However, the Warp Spider X-Arc has shown up on the scene right now, getting a little bit of the old Power Claw, stabby stab going on. Whoa, it's really weird when I zoom in on him and he blinks. There's the Over Dare ability, though, flinging those Slugger Boys right on top of the Warp Spider. Unfortunately, that shot landing right on top of them, though. It looks like the Slugger Boy is going to use the Swamp 'em ability that's going to reduce their range damage and break suppression. No suppression, but it looks like they're just going to charge on in. And, man, inflicting yet more casualties on these Rangers. And that stuff is looking pretty good. So central control definitely going back here to Texaneous. But, however, Texaneous, at some point when I wasn't looking, lost another Shooter Boy squad. So perhaps that was over there on the left.